I'll show you how to kill it on your first day as a set PA. My name is Michelle Caruso. Welcome to my channel where you learn how to get hired and work in the film industry. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to my friend and colleague, Gene Smith, who helped me with this video. We were set PAs back in the day and now he's working as an AD. I'm gonna jam-pack this video with a lot of great tips. You're going to love my PA survival guide, which I'll provide in a link below. I'll list some additional terms to know, tools to have, and links to some recommendations of some great resources and products. I highly recommend you watch my video, How to Get Hired in Film and TV. I reveal the #1 way to get hired, how to craft your resume, what to wear, and how to prepare for an interview. These steps are vital to you getting your first job, so be sure to empower yourself to land that first gig. This video is near and dear to me because I started off as a set PA. Working as a PA really solidified my love for working in film. I got to see a lot of cool movie magic moments like seeing explosions, fake snow during summer, and get some unique access to some awesome locations and meet some celebrities. All that said, there were a lot of tough conditions of working in snow, rain, intense Georgia heat, and some hot tempers to go along with it. Working on set, you have to bear the elements and also grow a tough skin fast. Shooting schedules are tight and incredibly important to make your day or get everything that is required to film in that day. So expectations and stakes are high. Let's dive in so you can rise to the challenge. PA or production assistant is the entry-level position for working in film and TV. There are two types of PAs, set and office. I'll be doing a separate video on how to be an office PA. As a set PA, you're part of the AD team, which falls under the production department. AD stands for Assistant Director, not to be confused with a director's assistant, who's the person who only assists the director. ADs are in the DGA, Directors Guild of America. It takes years of being a PA to join DGA along with some hefty fees. I'll provide a link below so you can do your research on what it takes to join the DGA and what the benefits are. I will mention you need to keep your pay stubs, call sheets, or PR, or the production report, for each project as part of your submission materials, so stay organized. There are three main types of ADs. The first, second, and second, or sometimes referred to as the third AD. The first AD schedules the day of filming and keeps the day moving in a timely manner. They are the director's right-hand person. The second AD works off the first AD's shooting schedule. This person lines up any logistics for filming the next day and preps the call sheet. They are typically found working in the AD trailer at Basecamp. They schedule actors' transportation to and from set for filming and fittings. They communicate with extras casting to determine how many extras are needed, what their looks are, when and where they should be on the day of filming. The second AD works with the first AD on set. They help to ensure the set runs safely and smoothly. They oversee the PA's background and actors. I'll never forget how exciting those first booking calls were. After months of networking, even one day on set is a huge stepping stone. When you first start out, you'll be working as a day playing PA, which means you'll get hired on an as-needed basis. Perhaps they have a lot of extras, more actors, a large location, or multiple moves throughout the day. More hands on deck are needed, but temporarily. That's your opportunity to make a great first impression and get hired back. Be alert, listen, anticipate, and take action. Do not play on your phone. Take great notes and do not sit down unless you have a medical condition. There's a stigma that you must not be working if you're sitting, which can honestly be tough. As a PA, I'd walk miles in a day, sometimes through challenging terrain or conditions, and for many hours. So something to keep in mind for your physical well-being. Before your first day, do some prep work on who the ADs, PAs, cast members, and department heads are. Hence, they're listed on the call sheet. Very often, a crew member will ask, "What's your 20?" meaning, "Where are you?" Often the ADs will need to locate the director or DP, the director of photography, or the actors. So get on IMDb and or social media to learn names and faces. A quick introduction doesn't hurt, so they're familiar with who you are when you need to speak with them, like inviting them to set. Or you may have something they need, like an extra call sheet or sides. Establish rapport and show you're valuable. Be early. Get there 15 to 30 minutes early. Your call time will be on the back of the call sheet. It will take time to find crew parking and how to get to Basecamp. After you park, the first thing you'll want to do is get to Basecamp, which is where all the working trucks are. If it's your first day, you'll want to find the AD trailer or office. Let them know you're there, learn names, and get your radio or walkie. Next, go to catering to get some breakfast. Once you're done eating is when you should be ready for work at your call time. PAs are the first in and last out. It was very common for me to be there before the sun comes up and after it's gone down. A very short film day is 10 hours. They more average around 12 hours and can be even as long as 18 plus hours. I go over this in greater detail in my video on how to get hired in film and TV, but here's the short version. Starting as a day player, you'll be working on a day-to-day basis. Once you move up to staff, you'll be working the entire length of the show during filming. In certain PA roles, you may get some prep and wrap days. A shooting schedule for a feature film ranges from 30 to 60 days of filming. TV shows or episodic gigs can really vary. A typical narrative half or full hour show can take a week or two to film an episode. You can expect to be hired on a TV show for 5 to 6 months. Typically, you'll be working Monday through Friday, but there are a lot of factors that can cause an unusual schedule. Often, there are what we call fratter days, which is where you come in late on Friday and work into Saturday. There are a few different types of PAs: Key Set PA, Basecamp PA, Background PA, First Team PA, Walkie PA, and additional PAs. When I was in college, I attended a PA boot camp, which was a weekend-long deep dive into being a PA. I highly recommend it and will put a link below. Gene created a great series of videos as a PA crash course. The link will be in the description below. He goes into greater depth on what each type of PA does, but here's a quick, brief overview. A Key Set PA will help delegate tasks to the rest of the PAs. This will be a seasoned PA who's getting ready to be an AD. A Basecamp PA will help run Basecamp and assist the second AD. They'll be on the lookout to greet actors as they arrive, inform anyone who needs to know, and get them through the works, hair, makeup, wardrobe, get them to any fittings, rehearsals, and invite them to set when they are called. As you get more experience, ask to help prep the call sheet, PR, or production report, and Exhibit G. A background PA runs the background actors. Get them checked in through the works, hair, makeup, wardrobe, placed and cued on set, and check them out. You will need to learn how to fill out extras vouchers, extras breakdown, and how to read skins. A First Team PA will help keep track and take care of the actors, also known as talent or first team. Keep them in your vision, but don't hover. Work with locations and security to get them discreetly in and out of busy locations. Get them mic'd up at sound, help facilitate getting them fed, and communicate their whereabouts to crew as needed. Once the shot has been determined, PAs need to call in second team to be stand-ins for the actors as the scene is lit. A Walkie PA is in charge of keeping track of all the walkies, batteries, and rented headsets. Keep a good inventory, label them, and keep batteries charged. You may be in charge of the set box, which contains production paperwork. Be sure it's up to date with the latest distro or distribution, which can consist of schedules, scripts, etc. An additional PA will help all these different types of PAs. You may find yourself getting all the actors' breakfast and lunch orders to deliver to Basecamp. Label the boxes and include silverware. You may be helping to cue background or keep track of first team. As an additional PA, let the staff take the lead. You don't want to be stepping on toes. You're there to assist, not take over. The basics of what you'll need to be a PA are a working car, headset or surveillance mic for your radio, something to hold pens, black and red Sharpies, call sheets, sides, personal belongings like car keys, wallet, and mints are always a plus. A light tool belt with a pouch or a fanny pack or a gold fold are common choices. I'll have links below to my recommendations. I'll be creating a separate video on the paperwork of film, but basically a call sheet is a schedule of what is filming that day. The front lists the basic information of the show, general crew call, your call will be listed on the back by your name, the scenes filming that day, location information, the cast, department needs, an advanced schedule of what films tomorrow. The back of the call sheet will have all the departments listed, who is on the crew, their call time, and any special notes. Sides are the pages from the script that will film that day. You may see some areas X'd out because they may not film the entire scene, only portions. Nearly all PAs will be given a lockup during filming. A lockup is to keep everyone silent during takes and prevent anyone from entering the shot who shouldn't be. As they are announced on the radio, you'll need to loudly call out rolling and cut. Same with rehearsals up and cut and rehearsal. Occasionally, someone will be caught up in a task and not paying attention. You can signal with your hand to show we're rolling and they need to be quiet. Once they got what they needed from a setup, you'll hear moving on. Be sure to loudly echo those directives to your surrounding crew. On stage, a PA will be assigned to be in charge of the bells. You'll hit a button to turn on the roll light and hit the bell button once. These lights and bells are located at every entrance to stage so someone doesn't walk in or out during takes. You'll turn off the light and hit the bell button twice once cut is called. For rehearsals, you typically just need to turn the light on or off. Usually for rehearsals, it's a soft lockup so crew can continue loading in. Every AD team is different, so pay attention to their direction. Be sure to communicate to all departments what the next shot or shots are, especially hair, makeup, and wardrobe, and with an ETA for filming the next setup. The first AD will call last looks when camera is close to being ready to film. PAs need to let hair, makeup, and wardrobe know so they can do touch-ups as needed. You may get called to catering before the crew is released for lunch. Once crew breaks for lunch, you'll want to count the line. How many people are going through? Communicate with the last PA on set to make sure it's clear before calling last man. Once the last man is in catering, it'll be half an hour before crew is back in. Everyone needs to know when crew is back in, so spread the word. You need to know military time. Any reference to time should be in military time. You will need to be listening and talking on the radio as a PA. It does take some getting used to, as you always have to be paying attention even if you're having a face-to-face conversation. You'll want to invest in a couple of headsets for your radio. Here's my old headset or surveillance mic. As you'll see, I have an earpiece, and this is the part that you speak into. There's always going to be a little button. Here's the piece that you plug into your radio. I personally like ones that have an ear mold so it stays in and is more comfortable. Before plugging into your radio, make sure your radio is off. Double check you're on channel 1 for production. Then turn on your walkie and you should hear a beep. And do a walkie check. I can say something like, Michelle, walkie check, and someone should respond with, Good check. When you press down on your button to talk, be sure to wait a breath so the first part of what you're saying doesn't get clipped or cut off. Each department will have their own channel. Production will always be on channel 1. Check the front and back of the call sheet as it will list which departments are on which channels. Here's how you can switch channels. Michelle switching to channel 3. Switch to channel 3. This is Michelle. I'm in catering and need a van to go to Basecamp. A driver should say copy to show they heard the directive and are on the task. Don't forget to switch back to 1 and say, Michelle, back on 1. If someone calls you on the radio, it may go something like this. Jean to Michelle. Go for Michelle. Jean will then give the directive, then I'll respond with, copy that. Speak on the radio very sparingly. It's a great idea to get as many people's phone numbers as you can in case you need to have longer side conversations. Plus, you'll want to stay in touch for future job opportunities. If it's a larger location, you may even get out of walkie range at times. Ideally, you should stay on walkie though. If a longer side conversation is needed, you can always call someone to channel 2. Keep it short as neither one of you wants to miss what's being announced on channel 1. Studio Binder, which is a fantastic resource by the way, has a great, more in-depth article on radio etiquette and terms. I'll leave in the link below. I'm focusing on the broad strokes on this video, but a PA knowing how to use the radio is vitally important. As a member of the production team, you need to keep the day moving. If you need to go to the bathroom, it should be during a slower moment in the day. The best time to go is when they are setting up lighting. Announce you are 10-1 on the radio, which means you're going to the restroom. Be sure to announce when you're back, as you may be needed. Being a PA is an entry-level position. The current going rate for a set PA is between $150 to $175 per day for a 12-hour day. Typically, you're guaranteed pay of 12 hours and you'll be compensated more if you work over 12 hours. Commercials pay around $200 plus per day. If it's your first day on the job, fill out start paperwork and turn it in. You'll need a government ID, driver's license or birth certificate or a passport, and know your social security number. In some cases, you may need at least a copy of your social, so best be safe and bring a copy with you. On your last day of work for the week before Saturday, make sure you sign a time card and get a copy for payment. Usually the Basecamp PA will fill out time cards. It should have your name, position, days you worked, and the hours. Time cards are turned in on Fridays or Saturdays. Also, Fridays are typically the payday for the previous week of work. If you're only working for a day and you need to pick up your check, let them know so they can call you and let you know where to pick up your check. I know I breezed through some of these, but here's a more in-depth list of what you need to be a set PA. A 2-wire surveillance headset for a 2-way radio, an earpiece mold, and make sure your headset works with a Motorola CP200 radio, which is the standard walkie used in the industry. Tool belt or gold fold. You'll want to have on you at all times 2 to 3 call sheets and 2 to 3 sets of sides. Make sure you keep one of each for yourself. You may have to cue background or possibly an actor. If this is the case, get a set of cans or headphones so you can hear actors delivering their lines. Have an extra walkie battery or hot brick, or maybe 2 on your tool belt. These should be clipped to the outside of the set box. Cold or dead batteries should go inside the box or on the charger if it's nearby. You'll also need a notepad with easy tear sheets, pens, and black and red Sharpies. The notepad is for taking notes and easily sharing information, like taking someone's meal order for catering. Black Sharpies are handy for labeling the meal boxes. Most likely you'll be at catering and setting the meals to the Basecamp PA to distribute, so make it easy. Red Sharpies are necessary for when calls for the next day are pushed or pulled. At the end of a filming day, the next day's call sheet will be printed. Depending on when wrap is called, they may want to start the next day earlier or later, therefore push or pull back the call time. You'll need to write this information in red on the top of every call sheet before you distribute them. I recommend you invest in a tightly sealed, temperature-controlled, and reusable water bottle. You'll be able to fill up at Crafty or craft service, which is where snacks and beverages are available for the cast and crew. You may be in hot weather with a far lockup. You'll be glad you have a water bottle with cold water. You'll want to make sure it's got a great seal in case it ever gets knocked over. You don't want to be responsible for water ruining equipment. And coming from the art department, I want to mention there should be no food or drink on set. You may also hear hot set, which is a set that is dressed and ready for filming, so don't touch it. Weather attire. Rain jacket, rain boots, rain pants, have them in your car in a change of clothes, and an extra pair of shoes and socks. I personally recommend having waterproof shoes no matter what. Even if it's not raining, you may have to walk through mud, or they may do a wet down, which is spraying down the set with water so it's more reflective. It's likely your footwear will get wet, so be prepared. No, I'm not talking about the drink, though there is cause for excitement. A martini is the last shot of the day. You'll hear, "Martini is up." Once they've got all the takes of that camera setup, then wrap is called. PAs need to be standing by the working trucks for crews out times to be turned in. Get direction of which department to cover by your key set PA or an AD. I hope this video has helped to demystify how to get started as a set PA. Bottom line is you are your best advocate. Having this knowledge will help you kill it on your first day. Make it count so you can get asked back. A book that Jean recommended is The Ultimate Production Assistant Guide, Getting It Done. It goes into way more detail and provides further insight about working in film. I know this is a lot of information, so be sure to download my PA Survival Guide for quick reference. You'll learn faster by getting on set and putting this into practice. Thank you for watching. Please comment below on what you've learned and be sure to share this with anyone looking to be a PA. If this video was helpful, I recommend signing up for my newsletter on my website at michelle-caruso.com so we can stay in touch and keep growing together. I'll see you next time where we go over how to be an office PA.